Welcome to Mobile Bodies Dynamic Warm-Up. Let's get into it to your first steps to becoming mobile-bodied. So this warm-up is meant to be a follow-through. So we're going to start with some body vibrations. So go ahead and kind of shake and gently rotate that neck around. I also want you to take a moment to take some nice deep breaths through your nose. Take a nice inhale through your nose and slowly exhale. Begin to shake your wrists, shake your hands. Let that vibration penetrate up into your shoulders, into your torso, and down through your legs. Just have fun with this. Think of it as time as getting the jitters out and stimulating your nervous system. Next, we're going to move into some arm-controlled rotations. Take your time going in a clockwise and counterclockwise direction, really pushing the range of motion in all directions. Be mindful of how the shoulder feels. If there's any pinching or snagginess in certain directions, make a note. Again, all of this is mindful movement, paying attention to how your body feels. With the extremities, we always have the option to compare the right versus the left. So again, go through this motion in a clockwise and counterclockwise on the left as well. Make some mental notes to keep track of later on how it feels. Next, we're going to take a wide stance, feet pointing forward. We're going to go through some hip circles. Keep your pelvis straight forward and work on hinging sideways, moving yourself forward, slowly rotating again, being mindful of how your lower back and your hips feel. Extend back as far as you can. Mind you, none of this should be painful. Just adjust it as you need. One key component here is to really focus on the hip hinge, trying to keep your spine straight and really rotating through the hip joints. Okay, from here we're going to take a little bit wider stance. We're going to do some hip hinge spinal rotations to really open up those hips and open up the spine. So go ahead and reach towards your opposite hand, towards your opposite foot, and reach the opposite hand up high in that direction. Go ahead and try to keep your gaze up towards the hand that's going up. Again, slow, controlled, spending your time. Remaining in this same stance, we're going to do a Cossack squat reach. So you're going to do a half Cossack squat to either side and reaching towards the opposite side. Again, try to keep your spine up nice and tall. Only bend about halfway. And again, make some notes how this feels. From here, we're going to get to the edge of the mat. We're going to work on what is called an ostrich stretch. So this again is a hip hinge where you can put your hands on your knees and you take baby steps forward while you pulse in a hip hinge position. The ultimate goal is to keep your spine as straight as possible, helping to open up the posterior legs. If you want to, you can take this a step further. If this is too easy, And you could work on toe tapping the floor. And again, focusing on that hip hinge, trying to keep that spine nice and straight. So we're going to get ourselves into a quadruped position, hips over knees and your shoulders over your wrists. And here we're going to do a move called wag the tail. You may need a little pad under your knees if this is too intense. So glue those feet together and you're going to bend side to side, trying to make eye contact with your toes. It actually is a bit more challenging than it appears. One of my favorites is the scapular shoulder rolls. So again, these are going to be going in a counter and clockwise direction. You're going to roll your shoulders back, keeping those elbows as straight as possible, moving that shoulder blade in circles. This one I often find people have lots of trouble with, and not having good range of motion in this area can lead to lots of actual shoulder joint impingement. So again, spend some time here noticing some discrepancies or asymmetries from the side-to-side positions, from the right or left. While staying in the quadruped position, we're going to do some spinal circles. So again, these are going in a counter and clockwise direction. You're going to be rolling your spine nice and slow, trying to segmentalize each and every vertebrae. From here, we're going to do a 90-90 for the hips. So get your hips at 90 degrees, your knees at 90 degrees, and then you're going to just keep those feet planted and just pivot from your foot point. If you need assistance, you can always put your hands on the ground to support your upper torso. But again, the goal is to be able to move fluidly through this position. If you want to take it a little bit further, you can add a bit of bonus stretch. Once you get to a side, do a hip hinge down towards that side as you rotate. Again, great stretch for the hips and also will help prevent your lower back from being too stressed if your hips aren't moving very well. So this is always a fun one. It's called the corkscrew. Now what you're going to do is create a little window, slide your foot through, and then rotate onto your belly. Create another window, slide your other foot through, and roll onto your back. This requires a little bit of coordination and a little bit of thinking, but just play with it, have fun. Once you get it, it's kind of fun to roll around on the ground. It is easier to do on a smoother surface, so you can slide. You can see me sticking a little bit here. But again, just have fun with it. Next, we're going to move into spinal extension and reach to sit. So we're going to reach up our foot, push up into a cobra pose, and sit. Rotate back, lift our foot up, and back to starting position. What you'll want to work on trying to do here is really lifting and bringing that hip up into hip extension. It oftentimes can be a struggle for many people. You'll notice on me when I'm turning that way, it's not as easy to do as it is the other direction. So again, have fun with it. It's a great stretch. This next one is the toe squat leg swing, followed by a reverse squat sit back. So this one, you're on your toes and you just swing your leg out to the side. Use your hands for balance as needed. And then when you come back, reach back, reach back, squat back. When you're coming back, you want to work on keeping your entire foot flat if you can. If you need to go on your toes, that's fine as well. Again, this one really challenges your coordination and your balance, as well as some flexibility in your toes and your hips. But again, the most importantly is to have fun while you're doing this. Well, you just finished the prepare. Nice work. Let's move on.